Welcome back in for some more Tavern talk. Tonight, we are jumping into Act 1, Part 3, New Friends and Former Enemies. Welcome in, and thanks to future friends, we were able to cover this. So if you want to wish this game, down below is the link. My shipment of infusions finally arrived this morning. I now have access to Fey crystals and frozen pine cones. Interesting. Together with the Fable's Phoenix chilies, I have 3 infusions now. I'll unpack them later when I have some time. I have a feeling that they'll be of use soon. Diplomacy is key. Oh, okay. I'm assuming that's one of our achievements for the choice we made last episode. So, Innkeep. I drink for me and this Linky cow. It's good to see you too, Lynn. She meant to say please. Welcome back, Fable. You look alive. Thank you. I am. And if I remember correctly, last time in the demo, I chose for her to attack the werewolf. This one, we chose diplomacy, so I'm assuming that's the reason why we got that achievement. That seems like a given. We're just happy to see them doing well, and with a friend. We ain't friends. We're not. So you two didn't form a party? No. Oh. And what's the drink about? They may have very annoying, but they did just help me solve a family feud of 10 years. Oh wow. So I do owe them some of our dishwater at the very least. Family feud? I wouldn't call it a feud, more of a miscommunication. No, it was a feud. I feel like a feud implies a certain level of hostility. I was gonna kill him! I thought that was a joke. It wasn't. Oh. But no one died? No, Elfie here was able to prevent that. It's Fable. Whatever. Does this perchance have something to do with your request? It does. I stopped her from killing the werewolf. Elaborate, please. I was going to kill the werewolf. They stopped me from killing the werewolf. What's not to get? A lot. I think he is confused because the quest was to save the villagers from the werewolf. And now it sounds like I saved the werewolf from you. Which I did. Kind of. I also remember you saying that you didn't want the quest to win. I didn't. I was there by chance. They were both stealing sheep. Was not. Sure was. Adventuring don't pay what it used to. So you steal the other people's sheep? Mind your own business. How did any of this lead to a successful quest? Well, where do I start? How about at the beginning? Right, I was born a half-crescent dreaming moon. Of the quest fable? Right, the quest. Traveling there was no problem. I knew enough shortcuts to travel through the Ashen Grove swiftly. I reached the border of Tavern right around the dusk. I keep screwing up the town name. The Ashen Grove thins out around there, and you can catch a glimpse of the wide fields and vineyards as well as see one farm after the other. An idyllic sight will at least before sunset. Do you have trouble in the dark? Emotionally. Visually. A little. I mean, I reckon I can still see more than a human could, but darkness is darkness, and I am no owl. Thank God, we're already weird enough. Imagine the damage you'd do if you could turn your head all the way around. Who says I can't? Just kidding. Anyway, luckily darkness doesn't affect my hearing. Not the normal kind. What? Nothing. Okay. I heard a creaking fence and the footsteps that were failing at keeping quiet. Your ears are failing at being small. So I snuck closer and I saw a werewolf-esque shape picking up a tiny sheep. I was petting it. Well, I thought she was going to steal it, so I summoned up all my courage and stepped out of the shadows and said, "Good evening, werewolf. Please put down the sheep." I didn't expect them to be entirely in the right mind, of course, but I wanted to be polite. And I thought it might confuse her, and maybe that would help calm her down. I'm confused. It confused me, alright. Who the heck sees a werewolf, and the first thing they do is greet them? A polite person. Every time I read her dialogue, I'm more and more thinking it's kind of like CK. If you're watching the CK, sorry, but kind of does. A little bit. Or an insane one. It worked, didn't it? Because I ain't no werewolf. He wasn't this he wasn't that different. But I'm skipping ahead. To my surprise, instead of a growl, the werewolf, or non-werewolf, responded with a what? So the confusion plan had worked, but I didn't really expect that response. So I said, again, please put down the sheep. And she asked why. And I said, well, because stealing sheep isn't very nice. And she asked who I was. No, I asked, who are you? A guard? I was about to introduce myself when we heard this blood-curdling howl. It sounded like someone had ripped a hole into the fabric of reality and then pierced it with a horrid yell. Please, it was barely a bark. And I made the blood freeze. It made my blood freeze in my veins. I heard panting and heavy footsteps. I barely dared to turn around. You turned around immediately. And when I did, I stared into the twisted face of a werewolf, yellow gleaming eyes, gleaming with justice. Sharp teeth, giant claws. He looked like he wanted to eat me right up. He did. Before I could beg for mercy, suddenly something rushed past me and lunged at the werewolf. When I recognized my composure, Carolyn and the werewolf were on the ground, fighting tooth and nail. And the sheep you were holding? Obviously, I set it down at that point. Good. So, you went to Fable's aid? No, that isn't it. I noticed the wolf's banal rags. They were blue, checkered, had an uneven print. Just like the kind of stuff Uncle Dragon liked to wear. That old... Hey, why can't I say that? That's awesome. What the... youth protection. The age rating system is quite harsh. That's so awesome. Ah. Anyway, I was dressed like Uncle Dragon, smelled like Uncle Dragon, fought like him too. I was joking when I brought it up before, you know? Haven't seen the old man in years. Was copying about it by joking. Open. That's the only way I can talk about him these days. Because of the feud? Yes. He used to be my favorite uncle, but then he changed. Because irritably and angrily distant, though a lot with Uncle Better. Cared more about the moon than he did his own family. Eventually he just left, ran away without a word. Left us and the Uncle Feder behind, worried, senseless. Until we found a letter saying not to look for him and all their savings missing. Swear I was gonna kill him if I ever saw him again. Always thought he just couldn't face up to his problem. Turns out his situation was just to get those problems as far away from everyone as possible. Idiot. Do you talk it out with your fists? I tried, but Elfie stopped me. I'm glad they did. How did you figure that out? Well, she was yelling at me. I didn't understand half of it, but I could tell she was angry and hurt. I tried to get their attention by yelling at them to stop, but they wouldn't listen, so I shot an arrow right next to both of their heads. My aim was a little shaky, so I did end up grazing Mr. Dragon's ear. But I got them to stop for long enough to start listening to me. I threatened them that if they didn't stop to talk, I would shoot them both. I have never done that, of course, but they must have believed me because they actually stopped to listen. Looked mighty scared there, little pal. Thank you. I'm assuming that she actually said scary. I sat them down and did my best to be an insurmountable obstacle between them. If they wanted to fight, they would have to go through me. That sounds rather dangerous. Wouldn't have stopped for them. What? You're the size of a stick. You think you could stop two angry wolves? Oh well. Anyway, I used the opportunity to figure out what was going on. And that's how I found out about Mr. Dragon and Carolyn and the miscommunication. The feud, sure. Turns out that after Mr. Dragon was turned, he was too ashamed to admit it. But he couldn't stop the changes and ended up hurting all the people he cared about. That's no excuse, of course. No, it ain't. If we had known, we'd have helped him best we could. At the very least, we would have built a sturdy shed with scratch-proof walls for full moons. He didn't think that would have happened, though. So he decided to fix the problem by leaving it, deal with it alone, and so on. But that only made it worse. Of course, he was too embarrassed to come back, so he just focused on the whole werewolf thing and not any human things or Vilkin things, so to speak. So trying to find a cure, trying to avoid the moon, trying to find a place to sleep, stealing sheep. That's something that they have in common. The sheep? No, the stubbornness and the unwilling to ask for help. But the sheep too. But they had to talk about it. That silent resentment wasn't good for either of them. And you got them to do that? The little stick is oddly persistent? Wait, hold up. Possessive? Pursue, word, no worky. Merch down in this description. Had us talking about it before I even realized I didn't want to. Maybe because you did want to? Maybe. How did I go? Fine, I will take some time to accept this apology. We'll have to see him change first and apologize to Uncle Federer and the rest. But it was good to see him again. Guess a hug did feel better than a greatsword in his gut. Wonderful. Of course, there's still the problem with the whole werewolf thing. Eddie got too obsessed with the cure, he still can barely control himself. He helped him realize that even a cure couldn't change what he'd done. That he has to accept he's different now and learn how to live again. Of course, it won't be easy. No change ever is. I learned that from you. But we have to grow, we have a group of werewolves living near our settlement. A small community that enjoys the company of our warm trees. We play charities with them a lot, and they taught me about the phases of the 7 moons and the secrets of the moon signs. That sounds like a bunch of still love that they added that. It's really, you're a crescent moon. We introduced Mr. Dragon to them, and they promised they wouldn't take him in and help him deal with his lycanthropy. To learn to them, and they promised. Yeah, I'm a dork. That sounds great. It is. It's happy. It's a happy ending. I wouldn't call it an ending, rather the beginning of something new. So the end of one adventure is just the beginning of another one? Exactly. I like that. So after your heroic therapy session, you two decided to grab a drink together. Got offered to spend the day at the settlement, but they didn't serve anything strong enough for my tastes. Plus, Elfie was dying to get back here. Was talking about how they need to update you on everything nonstop. Wouldn't think they live here or something. Had to report back about the quest. I'm glad you did. They also started crafting something with the werewolves. Said something about it being for you and keep. Oh, really? Yeah? It's not finished yet, but I'll let you know, I promise. That wasn't that hard, was it? Well... So, a drink? What can I offer you, Lynn? Surprise me with something that fits my brand. But, yeah, by which I mean make me the usual strong. Strength never gets old. If I remember right, that drink is going to be this one. Southern Brawler. Just double check. Yeah, Southern Brawler. Crap ton of strength. The brim. A little bit of charisma. I said a little bit. Here you go, little buddy. And a little bit of strength. Not strength. Charisma, which is defense. Correct? Yes. Yes, that's the correct terminology. Surprise! Speaking of surprises, do y'all ever go to Asian stores? Because I found this tea that actually is honey infused with, I believe orange peels and other stuff with oranges, and it tastes absolutely amazing. Not too sweet, and it's not too bitter, but it's a citrus tea that comes in a jar, and it's like a honey, and you can use it on toast and other stuff too, not just teas. And it's pretty damn good. You just take a spoonful, put it in the cup, put hot water in there, and stir it, and you're good to go. It's pretty good. Really good, actually. Carrying on. Not bad, you should do this perfectly. I think I'll think about it. Available, what about you? Do you have something that's that'll calm me down? Maybe even bring some of the agility back? Like Swift Strike back to my senses? I've had stressful day, nights, morning, sequence of events. Oh, good cheese. I believe Swift Strike. Yep, there it is. A lot of decks. All the decks. A little bit of intelligence. A little bit of defense, which is charisma. And there we go. Here you go. Thank you. It looks so freaking weird, but cool at the same time. I believe that's like a gourd looking kind of cup. Wow, this is perfect. You look tired. Have you considered sleep? They do look like they're going to pass out any second. So do you? Maybe sleep is a good idea. Carolyn, do you have a place to sleep? I can sleep anywhere. It's a talent. It's depressing. I have a room available. You can stay there. So you're good? How much? I'll count it as a payment for your help with the quest. Fine. Later, Elfie. See you. Late. Yeah. Sure. Are you heading home, Fable? Yes, I've been gone for a whole day. Need to get back and make sure everything is still growing correctly. Maybe take a nap first. Yes, that too. Did you enjoy the first quest? I did. It was scary and different from what I expected. And I didn't know I was so good at pretending to be charming. Have you considered that you weren't pretending? Yes, very good job. Maybe you should order the drink for more often. Let's go with the first option. You did well, Fable. Thank you. I hope that wasn't my only adventure. I think this is just the beginning. That would be nice. Do you think I'm going to have the world? Save the world one day? That's a very tall order. You're right. I'm not cut out for that. I didn't say that. I would just prefer it if the world didn't end. Right. But if it does, you're the first person I'd ask for help. Maybe you should ask Carolyn first, but I'd be happy to be second. I'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Let's hope we won't. I like this world, and you have a point. We shouldn't hope for such a calamity. even if it would make for a good song. Or a sad one. Or both. I'm going to head home now. Do that. I'll stock up on quests for you. Can't wait. See you soon. See you soon. Well, I'm glad that nobody got hurt during the quest. Oh, Mr. Shady's back. Or Miss. Good evening to you. Quest taken. This quest. It wasn't here yesterday. That is correct. It seems dangerous. It is. Mysterious. Sure. Like me. You could be a little less mysterious by telling me your name. Zephyr? Did the wind carry you in? No. My legs. I'm assuming that's how you say the name, Zephyr? Because I've heard the name quite often from where I'm living. I want that quest. Well, you can have it. Not just literally, physically, emotionally. Emotionally? I want to take on the quest, go to the castle to get the cape. I mean... yes. Well, no one has gone to the castle yet, so if someone would like to go, they would be welcome to. So you know of the castle? Yes. It seems strange. It is. A vampire lives there. I heard rumors, whisperings of a strange fiendish woman residing there. Don't even say it. I know what you're thinking. Dyslexia, okay? I didn't mean to say fetish, alright? Don't start. Do not start. Okay. What a coincidence. Me too. Coincidence. Has she ever frequented your tavern? No, not recently. But she has. Once. Had a vampire mixture. Interesting. So she was only here a night? Yes. Would you say she was unnaturally pale? No, she had a lot of makeup on. But below that mask. Sure, yes. Yes, she looks pretty dead below that. What kind of a drink did she order? Blood. Interest. You sell blood? Of course. Whose blood? Did you hear about the werewolf avoiding the castle? Really? All of them? Yes, she has a lot of werewolf traps set up, but all the animals seem to steer clear of Marrow Castle. They said its doors are always locked, so nothing can go inside or leave. And anything that tries to merges into her land in no way or another. One way or another. As a grave, a pile of decorative bones, dirt, eating, rotting flowers. They say death clings to her doorstep like a everlasting melody. Sounds like a strange place. Like a tomb for something still alive. Or for a goth. Goth or vampire, she seems to be a thief. It appears so. Do you not sympathize with that? Thievery is an honorable skill, but it must be performed in secret. Or you're not worth the coin you pocket. Also, stealing a man's cape is just plain rude. I suppose. Only thing worse than that is stealing a man's hat. Not if it's cursed. I would have to agree with both of them on that, because if somebody steals my hat, I get super irritated with it. Especially then. Point is, if you can't defend yourself from having your trophies reclaimed, you must live with the consequences. The consequences being you. Exactly. It definitely sounds like you know what you're doing. Of course I do. I am one with the shadows and the wind, gone before they even notice I'm there. So you could easily swipe something else along with the cape, right? Certainly. Gold, gemstones with treasures, whatever pays the bills. What about some interior decorations? Like what, for example? Just something to pretty up my tavern a little bit. Maybe something useful that also dabbles as a decoration. Like a chair? Stealing a whole chair sounds a little too obnoxious for your first quest with me. I prefer something smaller, like a little trinket. My walls are still a bit empty. Wait, you're being serious? Absolutely. A memento that once belonged to an eccentric belonging to an eccentric vampire sounds like a wonderful addition to the tavern. I'll see what I can do. You won't be disappointed. Well then, I trust you to deliver yourself to her doorstep and the cape back to me, along with a neat little addition to the interior design. Sounds like I'll need a few stamps. Would you like some? No. Too traceable. How about a drink then? I could do with one of those. I heard your drinks inspire transformation of great magnitude. Allow you to dip into part of yourself that you weren't previously aware of. Raise yourself up from the shadows. Say, what do you trade them for? Secrets? How about a joke? Let's go with a joke. Us as the community, yeah, I dabble in dad jokes, so why not a joke? How about a joke? A joke? I don't think he liked that answer. That's not... I don't do jokes. And I don't do drinks, I'm afraid. How do you explore? How do explorers hide their treasure? How? By dragging them to a safe location. By dragging them to a safe... That's pretty dark for a joke. Alright, I feel bad for you. You may have one of my renowned drinks. And some of my renowned infusions. In fact, I just got a fresh new shipment today. Was finally able to unpack them. Infusions? Interesting. What vile magic do you have to offer? The purpose, I think you could benefit from either some fey crystals or frozen pine cone. The frozen pine cones have absorbed some of the natural ice protections. They can help you from a magical force barrier that will hurt those trying to harm you. The fey crystals hail strength from Evelyn allegedly. If consumed, they'll turn you invisible eventually, and for a bit. The duration is a bit unpredictable. I've also got some Phoenix chili, but I don't think those would be very useful for your situation. Interesting. So what dark depths of yourself are you looking for to explore? I fear that Lady Evelyn may be of the undead nature, so I must be strong and vigorous if I want to stake in her heart before her fangs are near my neck. Though that does sound appealing. Strength I can do. And some frozen armor should help with the fangs. Frost armor. Or perhaps the smart route would be to evade her wrath entirely. To out-stealth her and steal the cape from right under her pale nose. So that she might lie in the shame of having lost again against me. I think such an approach would require a certain amount of dexterity, and some invisibility could help with staying unseen should my speed and agility not be enough. Help me with the decision and keep. Your wisdom is no joke, is it? Now that I have access to infusions, I have to be careful of how they interact with other ingredients. They might alter the drink in a way where I have to use different ingredients than usual. I should make sure to keep an eye on the coaster shape so that I mix the correct recipe. Maybe I should even try adding an infusion and adjusting the drink from there. Let's give it a try. I think for this quest, I'm going to help them be more dexterous, stealthy, if you will. So that's charisma. This one, Swift Strike. Oh, nice. Cool. Alright, where drink? So, dexterous. This one. And dex. All the way to the top. A little confused here. That and a bit of strength. No, that's not working. Okay. What's going to work with this? It decreases that. Wait, hold on. Am I being a dork? Was I using the wrong infusion? Invisibility. I thought it was this one, Frost Armor. No, I'm such a dork. Here I'm using the wrong frickin' infusion. Okay, so... Nope. A little bit of strength. Right. No. Not strength. Constitution. There we go. Alright. That took forever. Some spice to the table. Add an infusion to the mixed drink of your choice. Here you go. A drink that all vampires fear. Garlic breath. Not quite, but that's a good name. May I steal it? You don't ask for permission before you steal something and keep. Then it's no longer a clever brew, but a mere trade. I see. I did hear about my new drink, the garlic breath. Ha. Good one. It tastes like not garlic, but just fearsome to a vampire. But just as fearsome to a vampire. You don't find garlic scary. No, only the absence of it. That makes no two of us. Hopefully this will help me evade her. I'm not prepared for a fight, but I won't need one of my steps or are as swift and quiet as the wind. And if she can't see me, goodbye, Innkeep. I would say pray that the sun will carry me back to the U. But my hopes do not lie with the realm keepers, and I shall be damned if they control my fate. Expect to see me again after the next sunfall. If you do not. Speak of vengeance. Vengeance makes for an early grave. Or for a good story. Farewell. Well, that was an interesting encounter. Or for a better ending. And you're up. Oh, a new quest? I'm taking this quest and a drink. Great. Did you sleep well? What? Sleep. How was it? Ah, fine. Too long. Didn't sleep that much in ages. That's good tea. Also, if you want to get this cup, it is part of the merch. It is my Discord icon for the Moonlit Cafe community. Sound like you needed it. No, your beds are just too comfortable. It's hard to get up. Of course, my apologies. I will make sure to take your feedback into consideration. Would you like a drink or compensation? I think I already said that. Make me something strong that will wake me up and keep me up too. So her usual. That's defense. So yes, sure. No. Try this. Oh, the strength. A little bit of charisma. Southern Brawler. Actually, just to make sure. Fusions. Fire resistant. Okay. There you go. Something strong coming up. This is strong, just the right amount of too much. Maybe I should call this drink the Carolyn. No, you shouldn't. Anyway, the quest. Yes, the quest. I'm taking it. So you said. I see it is my turn to make the conversation. I'm Miss Fable. Isn't it a bit too soon for another quest? You just returned. It has been hours since I've done anything but sleep, chat, and drink. I'm getting antsy. But if I sit still for too long, it feels like my bones are disintegration. Bones are disintegrating. Disintegrating. And I forget who I am. I think that's called boredom. It's torture. That too. Well, boring is not what I would call this quest in the slightest. Stealing from a chimera for a vampire sunscreen couldn't get more reckless than that. It could be taken healthy along. Fair point. Please don't. I won't. So the saliva for a vampire? Vampire sunscreen. Can't a vampire get their chimera goose themselves? That's a wyvern chimera. The vampires and fire don't mix too well. Also, if everyone just did their own quest, the quest economy would be in shambles. Suppose that'll be terrible for your business. Indeed. Have you ever encountered a chimera before? No, not a real one. Got me thinking, ain't it kinda blasphemy to steal from a draconic guardian? Depends. Are you religious? Yes, nod. Then no. Would it be if I was? Don't think so. Chimeras steal riches all the time, and they were created by the guardians, by the protectors of the realms. So stealing something to protect someone else seems in line with the decree? Good thing you ain't a priest. You do a piss poor job. Thank you. Hold on. Lynn can say piss, but not the F-bomb or something else? Interesting. Okay. Is blasphemy what you're most worried about? I ain't worried. Okay. Nervous? Ain't that either. Then what is it? Excitement, I suppose. Excitement? Don't laugh. I'm not laughing. I'm asking. Ah. Yes, excitement. I've never encountered a guardian before. And I've always sort of wanted to. Why haven't you? Ain't exactly easy to find one or to survive one. This seems like a great opportunity for you then. It is? What's it about guardians? It's less about the guardian and more about what creature created it, and maybe a little about the chimera. It's got a dragon head, right? Yes, modified after its creator, I would guess. So let me rephrase that. What is it about dragons and chimeras with dragon heads? They're cool. I mean, they're not wrong. Dragons are freaking wicked cool. Also, when I was a little, my Baba used to tell me bedtime stories about the dragons every night. She was a great adventurer and encountered many of their creations on her journeys. Not sure if it's true, but she will always claim she met each of the realm keepers themselves. Had a little keepsake from them and all. My sword's one of those. Passed it on to me before she passed. Left one day, she was just gone. Then she wanted to spend her last moments somewhere else. Like to think she visited one of the dragons one last time. Your family has a leaving problem? At least she left our savings alone. That sword and her stories are all I have left of her. Going on a quest, it almost feels like I'm stepping into a memory of hers. Did she ever tell you about a wyvern chimera? No, was the only kind she never encountered. Had quarrels with those feline ones, different variations of scales, even a cow one, I think, but never found a wyvern one in all her years. I'm sorry, a cow one? And I thought I have heard it all. Now I have. It would have been nice to be able to tell her the story when I return. If I return. I'm sure you will. You can tell the story to me, and I don't know if I make for a good Baba, but I do enjoy a good tale. I'll think about it. You already got me talking so much. This is you talking too much? So, you like dragons? I do. They're fascinating creatures, very interesting, very magical. They are. Fascinating and magical. Used to pretend I was one when I was a little. Really wanted their magic and their wings. You can just ask them for their magic. Not sure about their wings. I ain't a priest either. Besides, I'm a warrior. Don't do all the magic. Why not? I like my sword and my muscles. They're a good combo. And I don't need to rely on anyone, not even dragons. A little help never hurts anybody. A little reliance don't either. You literally just got help from me by ordering that drink, so you're welcome. If you say so. Does that mean that you don't want a drink to pep you up, Lynn? Didn't say that. I see. That doesn't count as help. It's prepayment for me taking on your quest. Sure. You'll be happy to hear that I have some incredible infusions to offer that could greatly help with your quest. Nah, that sounds unnecessarily complicated. Let's keep it simple. Alright, what can I get you then? I reckon a little bit of a boost for this body couldn't help. I heard they're quick and toothy, so I'll need to be too hardy for it to bite. Some defense might come in handy. Or something for the brain. Baba talked quite a lot about how much they enjoyed a good ruse. Maybe I can outsmart it with the right play. But I'd need some intelligence for that. Won't be risking it all on a bad idea. Are you sure you don't want an infusion? Just a little bit of Phoenix chili would make you fire resistant. That could be very useful in a fight. Dragons, you're stubborn. Sure, I'll try one. And the topic of trickery, no, one is enough. Either you mix defense with your weird chilies, or you have heavy on the intelligence. Don't need any more of your fancy tricks. I don't care which one you pick. That's your job. Figure it out. Okay. Let's look at the infusions again. Invisibility. Thick skin and strength. And fire resistance. That's high in defense. Cross Lagoon. Let's see here. Let's put it in anyways. She won't know, right? Hold up, wait a minute. Trying to go for intelligence. Help her out, smart. Everything. Intelligence. This one. Sparkling bill. Noble. Let's see here. Yeah, that. Charisma. And intelligence. Oops. So Sparky right out of I do. So there wasn't really any room for any infusions because it'll add too much to a different one or take away. So hopefully this works for her. Figured it out. Thanks. Hope you seasoned it with some trickery. Hope you seasoned it with some trickery. It does feel weird, like my brain is sparkling. No refunds. How urgent is the sunscreen? Pretty urgent. The sun tends to not take a break, even for a vampire. Maybe you should sunbathe less than. That might solve this problem. Might. But when has an easy solution ever been fun? Good point. I'll see what I can do. Maybe they got some nice mice in the mangrove. Good luck. I'll be needing it. I'll be waiting to hear of your exploits upon your return. And with that, go ahead, feed our little buddy, clean up the tavern, and of course, blow out the candles for a good night. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the episode here. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep updated to all of the new videos that I post. Peace out and keep being awesome.